Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through top news across Canada. Ontario announces breakup of Peel region cities to become independent by 2025. No injuries after SUV crashes into sandwich shop downtown. WestJet starts to cancel flights as pilot strike looms, negotiations in stalemate. Toronto police release annual hate crime report, including 15% decrease in hate crimes on public transit. GTA gas prices may soon take off, industry analyst warns. Thousands pay tribute to OPP officer killed on the job in Bourget shooting. Waterloo women charged after racist assault at Kitchener Drive Test Centre caught on video. These were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the video. Toronto police are reporting a 15% decrease in hate crimes on public transit in 2022 compared to 2021, despite a number of high-profile incidents which garnered media attention. The statistics is one of the many released by police on Thursday as part of their annual hate crime statistical report. Police said the number of reported hate crimes decreased by about 6% from 257 to 242, but the number of reported hate crimes in 2022 is 74% higher than it was in 2019 and 40% higher than the 10-year average. Police say hate crimes in 2022 mostly targeted members of the Jewish, Black, and LGBTQ communities. The three most frequently reported criminal offenses motivated by hate in 2022 were property damage, assault, and uttering threats. 2022 also saw an increase in hate crimes reported at schools, 52 for the year, as well as an uptick in the hate crimes against Ukrainian and Russian communities. Police say that while crimes against East and Southeast Asian communities decreased in 2022, the percentage of hate crimes targeting Asian communities remained higher than pre-pandemic levels. Asian communities were also the most frequently victimized group on public transit. The hate-motivated attack on public transit last year made international headlines when 28-year-old Naima Dolma was set on fire at Kipling Station. She died of her injuries. The Doug Ford government is breaking up the region of Peel, paving the way of Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon to become independent cities by 2025. Legislation was tabled at Queen's Park Thursday afternoon that kicked off the process by creating a transition board to help ensure the process is fair and balanced. This board will be established sometime this year and would consist up to 5 members appointed by the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. These members will have expertise in labor governance and finance, officials said, and will make recommendations in summer or fall of 2024. Financing is one of the biggest points of contention for Brampton, whose mayor has said the city of Mississauga would owe them at least $1 billion in infrastructure. All 3 municipalities in Peel contribute a large portion of their tax revenue towards the region as a whole. Brampton provides nearly 40% of its tax revenue to the region, while Mississauga contributes 45%. This money is used to help pay for joint core services such as police, water treatment, roads, garbage collection, and housing supports. Once the 3 cities are independent, these services will most likely rest solely on the municipalities. Officials stressed Thursday that they expect local services to continue uninterrupted during this transition. It is possible that some services, such as police and utility rates for water services, could remain regional. Officials say that further legislation could be proposed in the fall of 2024 to address any outstanding restructuring matters. By January 1st, 2025, 1 year before the next municipal election, Peel region will officially dissolve. Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie has long called for separation from Peel region, suggesting the city has outgrown its counterparts and would save much-needed revenue by standing on its own 2 feet. WestJet has started to cancel flights as talks with the pilots' union remained at a critical impasse, the company said Thursday, jeopardizing travel plans for thousands of passengers ahead of the May-long weekend. Some 1,800 pilots at the carrier and its Swoop subsidiary are poised to walk off the job as of 3 a.m. ET after the Airline Pilots Association issued a strike notice Monday. WestJet issued a statement early Thursday saying negotiations with the union remained in a stalemate. We remain at a critical impasse with the union and have been left with no choice but to begin taking the painful steps of preparing for the reality of work stoppage, CEO Alexis Vaughan said in a statement. WestJet Group is parking the majority of its 737 and 787 fleet in a measured phase and safe approach, the statement read. The airline said WestJet Encore, WestJet Link, as well as limited 737 flights will continue to operate during this time. With more than 4,000 flights scheduled over the next 7 days, WestJet carries 28% of Canada's domestic market, while Air Canada runs 47% according to flight data firm Cirium. The federal labor minister and the government's head mediator, as well as WestJet CEO and the pilots' union leaders, have all descended on a hotel near the Toronto airport to work toward a deal. The airline is advising travelers to check the status of their flight before leaving for the airport and to visit WestJet's guest updates web page or Swoop's online information hub for more information regarding flight status and travel changes. As of early Thursday, WestJet's online daily flight status tracker showed 32 of its 162 listed departures out of its Calgary hub had been cancelled, while 20 of the airline's 50 flights out of Toronto's Pearson Airport had also been cancelled. A 27-year-old woman is facing several charges after a Muslim woman fell victim to a violent racist attack at a drive test center in Kitchener. The incident happened on Wednesday at about 12:30 p.m. inside a location on Ottawa Street North. Police said that a woman assaulted the victim and proceeded to take her cell phone and throw it at her before exiting the building and leaving the area. No one was physically injured during the incident, which is being investigated by members of WRPS Equity, Diversity and Inclusion and General Investigations Unit. The victim, Kitchener resident Milfra Abid, filmed part of the interaction on her cell phone and posted it to the Twitter. A number of the people also inside the center recorded this incident and posted it on social media. The clips show Abid confronting another female patron for allegedly making a racist comment about brown people after being called out for skipping the lineup. The woman in the video appears to become increasingly agitated and at one point is seen slapping the victim's phone out of her hand, saying that she did not give her permission to be recorded. Abid works as an anti-racism advocate for the Coalition of Muslim Women of KW. She told Awaz News on Thursday morning that her job is to help victims of hate and racism and train people to be active bystanders. Many people have since posted words of support for Abid and are denouncing what happened. The Coalition of Muslim Women of KW, along with the National Council of Canadian Muslims, will be holding a press conference at 3 p.m. today in Kitchener to discuss the incident and call for action. The accused in the incident has been charged with assault, theft under $5,000 and assault with a weapon. She was held in custody for a bail hearing. Waterloo Regional Police Service told Awaz News that they do not name accused persons until they have appeared before the courts.
Really, you're going to be racist here in the drive test?
I'm not racist. Why would you say I'm racist?
I just said don't be rude. I didn't say anything else.
I'm not
We
being
all are
rude.
waiting in this line,
Yes.
and everybody heard you here making a racist comment about brown people.
What did I say?
You said brown people. Okay, a lot of people heard that. I checked with others. It's not nice. It's not nice, it's not polite.
Yeah, and neither is you.
Hey! It's not nice, it's not polite.
Yeah, and neither is you.
Hey!
Don't record me. It's not on my permission. That's not my permission.
What's happening here?
The sound of ceremonial bagpipes was drowned out by helicopters overhead Thursday morning as thousands of police officers saluted the funeral procession of Ontario Provincial Police Sergeant Eric Miller, the 10th officer killed on the job in Canada in the last 8 months. Officers from across the country gathered in Ottawa and marched in unison in a solemn parade to a funeral held at the city's main hockey arena, where provincial officers expressed shock and disbelief at the loss of yet another officer. Today we gather again in the wake of profound tragedy and injustice and incomprehensible loss. Ontario Governor Elizabeth Dowdeswell told the officials, family and friends who gathered to pay tribute to the fallen officer. She told them that grief is the price of love. Last week, Mueller and 2 other officers were shot after they approached at a house at 2 a.m. on May 11th in the small town of Bourget, east of Ottawa, after neighbors complained about the sound of gunshots. Mueller died later that day in an Ottawa hospital, while the other 2 officers survived with injuries. One of them remains in serious but stable condition. Members of the public stood on highway overpasses to pay their respects as Mueller's body was transported from a funeral home in the nearby community of Rockland to a Canada in the west end of Ottawa, where his life was celebrated and mourned at a ceremony at the Canadian Tire Centre hockey arena. Mueller was honored as an exemplary officer, coach, and mentor to fellow officers, as well as a husband and the father of 2 young children. He was a big guy, OPP spokesperson Bill Dixon said outside the Canadian Tire Centre Thursday morning. Mueller joined the OPP in 2002 as a special constable responsible for transporting offenders in Ottawa. He was officially hired as a recruit in 2006 and was promoted to sergeant 2018. No injuries were reported after an SUV crashed into a Subway sandwich store in downtown Toronto overnight. It happened on Yonge Street just north of Wellington Street. An image from the scene showed the vehicle smashed in the door of the restaurant with shattered glass on the ground. A stretch of Yonge Street was closed between King and Wellington due to hydro wire damage following the collision. GTA residents could soon see gas prices take off over the next week with a 4-cent hike expected overnight, an industry analyst tells Awaz News. Jan McTeague, the president of Canadians for Affordable Energy, said Friday's rise will be followed by a 1% hike on Saturday and potentially another increase of 4 or 5 cents per litre by midweek. Prices are currently hovering around 1.54 cents per litre. McTeague told Awaz News that concerns over the debt ceiling crisis have subsided, and that is one factor that is likely to cause prices to slap back. When gas prices rose last month, McTeague told Awaz News that we can expect to see the price of fuel soar this summer. This is really only the beginning of what could be a bit of a gas price or energy price cycle that could push us back to not what we saw last year when it was to 215.9 on June 8 here in the GTA and across most of Ontario, but more consistently, the upper $1.70 to $1.80 range pretty much over the year, he said in an interview on April 18. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.